Imagine a world where paper had never been invented. There would be no books, notebooks, newspapers, magazines, or printed documents as we know them today. Long before paper existed, people still needed ways to record important information, laws, stories, and historical events for future generations. In ancient times, many civilizations carved words and pictures into large stones. These inscriptions could last for thousands of years, but they were very heavy and difficult to transport. The people of Mesopotamia developed clay tablets by pressing symbols into soft clay with a pointed tool. After drying, these tablets became hard and durable. Ancient Egyptians created papyrus from the papyrus plant that grew along the Nile River. It was lighter than stone but still expensive and not available everywhere. Other civilizations wrote on parchment, which was made from specially treated animal skins. It was strong and long-lasting but required a lot of time and money to produce. Because these writing materials were expensive, heavy, or difficult to make, they were not practical for everyday use or for producing large numbers of books. As a result, only kings, priests, government officials, and wealthy scholars had regular access to written records, while most ordinary people remained unable to read or write. As civilizations expanded through trade, science, education, and government, the need for a cheaper, lighter, and easier writing material became more urgent than ever before. Around 105 AD, during the Eastern Han Dynasty, China made one of the greatest contributions to human civilization with the invention of true paper. A Chinese court official named Cai Lun is traditionally credited with improving the papermaking process, making it more practical and affordable for everyday use. Before Cai Lun's innovation, people in China often wrote on bamboo strips, wooden tablets, and expensive silk, which were either heavy or too costly for widespread use. Cai Lun experimented with everyday materials such as tree bark, hemp, old cloth, worn-out fishing nets, and other plant fibers to create a new writing material. These materials were soaked in water, beaten into a soft pulp, spread into thin layers on a flat screen, and then dried under the sun to form smooth sheets of paper. The finished paper was lightweight, flexible, easy to carry, and much cheaper to produce than silk or bamboo, making writing far more convenient. Because paper was affordable, more government records, books, letters, and educational materials could be produced than ever before. The Chinese government quickly recognized the importance of this invention and encouraged its use throughout the empire for administration, education, and literature. For many centuries, China carefully protected the secret of papermaking, preventing other civilizations from learning the technique. This remarkable invention laid the foundation for the spread of knowledge, education, literature, and culture, eventually changing the course of world history forever. Although China carefully guarded the secret of papermaking, the knowledge gradually began to spread to neighboring countries through trade, diplomacy, and cultural exchanges. One of the first countries to learn the art of papermaking was Korea, where skilled craftsmen improved the techniques and produced high-quality paper. From Korea, the knowledge reached Japan around the 7th century, where artisans developed unique methods using the fibers of the mulberry tree. Japanese papermakers created strong, smooth, and beautiful paper that was used for books, paintings, official documents, and traditional art. As paper became more widely available, scholars and monks copied religious texts, historical records, and important books by hand to preserve knowledge. Buddhist monks played a major role in spreading paper because they needed it to copy sacred scriptures and educational writings. Paper also became an important material for artists, who used it for calligraphy, drawings, and other forms of creative expression. The availability of paper helped schools, temples, and libraries expand, allowing more people to study, write, and share ideas. As trade routes connected different parts of Asia, paper became an increasingly valuable product, and its popularity continued to grow. Although the secret of papermaking had spread across East Asia, it would soon travel even farther, eventually reaching the Islamic world and changing history forever. In 751 AD, an important event known as the Battle of Talas became a turning point in the history of papermaking. The battle took place between the forces of the Tang dynasty of China and the Abbasid Caliphate near the Talas River in Central Asia. According to the traditional historical account, some Chinese papermakers were captured after the battle and shared their knowledge of papermaking with the Abbasids. Using this new knowledge, the city of Samarkand became one of the first major centers of papermaking outside China. Muslim craftsmen improved the Chinese methods by producing stronger, smoother, and higher quality paper using locally available materials. As papermaking spread to cities such as Baghdad, Damascus, and Cairo, paper mills were established, making paper more widely available. The Islamic world experienced a golden age of learning, with scholars writing and copying thousands of books on science, medicine, mathematics, astronomy, philosophy, and literature. Large libraries and famous centers of learning preserved valuable knowledge from many different civilizations and passed it on to future generations. Paper became an essential tool for education, trade, government administration, and the spread of knowledge throughout the Islamic world. From the Islamic world, the art of papermaking eventually reached Europe, where it would help spark the Renaissance and the printing revolution. Around the 12th century, the knowledge of papermaking spread from the Islamic world to Europe, mainly through Muslim Spain and trade routes across the Mediterranean. One of the earliest European paper mills was established in Zataiva, Spain, where skilled craftsmen began producing high-quality paper using techniques learned from the Islamic world. Soon after, papermaking spread to Italy, France, Germany, and other European countries, where new paper mills were built to meet the growing demand. European craftsmen improved the manufacturing process by using water-powered mills, allowing paper to be produced faster and in larger quantities than before. Paper gradually replaced expensive parchment, which was made from animal skins and was too costly for producing large numbers of books. As paper became cheaper and more widely available, schools, universities, churches, and government offices began using it for books, letters, legal records, and official documents. Merchants and traders also relied on paper to keep financial records, write contracts, and communicate with business partners across Europe. The increased availability of paper encouraged more people to learn reading and writing, helping education spread beyond the wealthy and religious communities. By the 15th century, Europe's growing paper industry made it possible for books to be produced on a much larger scale, preparing the continent for a major revolution in communication. The arrival of paper in Europe transformed education, science, literature, business, and government, laying the foundation for the printing revolution that would soon change the world forever. Around 1450, a German inventor named Johannes Gutenberg developed the movable type printing press, one of the most revolutionary inventions in history. Before the printing press, every book had to be copied by hand, a slow process that could take months or even years and made books extremely expensive. Gutenberg's invention used individual metal letters that could be arranged, inked, and pressed on a paper, allowing thousands of identical pages to be printed quickly. Because paper was affordable and widely available, printers could produce books, newspapers, pamphlets, and educational materials in much larger numbers than ever before. The cost of books fell dramatically, making knowledge accessible not only to kings and scholars, but also to ordinary people. Schools and universities expanded as more students gained access to textbooks and learning materials, helping improve literacy across Europe. Scientists, philosophers, and writers were able to share their discoveries and ideas more quickly, accelerating progress in science, medicine, and literature. The printing press also played a major role in the Renaissance and the Protestant Reformation, as new ideas spread rapidly across Europe. Together, paper and the printing press transformed human civilization, making the spread of knowledge faster than ever before and shaping the modern world. During the 18th and 19th centuries, the Industrial Revolution transformed the way paper was made, replacing slow manual methods with powerful machines. Before this period, most paper was made by hand from old cotton and linen rags, which limited production and made paper relatively expensive. Inventors developed large paper-making machines that could produce long, continuous rolls of paper much faster than skilled workers could by hand. Manufacturers also discovered that wood pulp could be used as the main raw material, making paper much cheaper and easier to produce in large quantities. As factories expanded, millions of sheets of paper could be produced every year, supplying schools, businesses, and governments around the world. The lower cost of paper led to the rapid growth of newspapers, magazines, books, and advertisements, making information available to ordinary people on an unprecedented scale. Schools benefited greatly because affordable textbooks, notebooks, and educational materials became widely available, helping improve literacy rates. Businesses and governments relied heavily on paper for contracts, records, maps, letters, and official documents, making administration and trade more efficient. By the late 19th century, paper had become an essential part of everyday life, supporting education, communication, science, commerce, and culture across the world. The Industrial Revolution turned paper from a valuable handmade product into an inexpensive everyday necessity, paving the way for the modern information age. Today, paper remains one of the most useful and widely used materials in the world, even in an age dominated by computers, smartphones, and the internet. Every day, billions of people use paper for books, notebooks, newspapers, magazines, office documents, packaging, and personal communication. Schools, colleges, and universities continue to rely on paper for textbooks, exams, notebooks, certificates, and research materials, making it an essential part of education. Businesses and governments use paper for legal contracts, official records, passports, certificates, and many important documents that require permanent storage. Artists, designers, and writers use paper to create paintings, sketches, calligraphy, novels, comics, and many other forms of creative expression. The rapid growth of online shopping has also increased the demand for paper-based packaging, including cardboard boxes, paper bags, and recyclable wrapping materials. Because millions of trees are used to produce paper each year, many countries now promote recycling and sustainable forestry to protect the environment and reduce waste. Modern paper mills use advanced technology to produce stronger, cleaner, and more environmentally friendly paper while reducing water and energy consumption. Although digital technology has reduced the use of paper in some areas, it remains an essential material for education, business, healthcare, publishing, and daily life around the world. From its invention in ancient China to its role in the modern world, the story of paper is a remarkable journey that transformed human civilization by preserving knowledge, spreading ideas, and connecting generations across history. As the world moves further into the digital age, the role of paper is changing, but it remains an important part of modern life and is unlikely to disappear completely. Many schools, businesses, and governments now use digital documents to reduce paper consumption, save costs, and improve efficiency. At the same time, scientists and engineers are developing new types of eco-friendly paper made from bamboo, agricultural waste, recycled fibers, and other sustainable materials. Recycling has become one of the most effective ways to reduce waste, save energy, and decrease the number of trees needed for paper production. Around the world, governments, companies, and environmental organizations encourage people to recycle paper and use it responsibly to protect forests. Modern paper manufacturers are investing in cleaner technologies that use less water, less energy, and produce fewer pollutants than traditional paper mills. Paper continues to play a vital role in education, healthcare, publishing, packaging, banking, and many other industries where physical documents are still essential. New innovations, such as biodegradable paper packaging and recyclable paper products, are helping reduce plastic pollution and support a greener future. The journey of paper, from its invention in ancient China to its use in today's digital world, shows how one simple invention can shape the progress of human civilization. Even after nearly 2,000 years, paper continues to preserve knowledge, inspire creativity, connect people across generations, and remain one of humanity's greatest inventions.